Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Dada's Show, coming to you from Ma Hotel and Suites. I'm your host, Ashiko Mbune. As our name suggests, the Dada's Show aspires to promote the spirit of sisterhood and solidarity. And we do this by creating a very open and safe platform for women to be able to discuss issues pertaining to their health and well-being, their careers, their families, and any other topics that affects them. Mother's Day is a celebration honoring our mothers or individuals who have stood in that space. And we honor them every single year. In this particular day, we take some time to reflect and to acknowledge the influence that women have on ourselves and on our society, our mothers actually. So here on Dada's Show, we are joining the rest of the world in commemorating this wonderful day by rolling out the first part of our two-part series, which will be entitled Mother's Day Special. So, joining me today are three exceptional women who, among other titles that they have, they are also called Mom. We will get to hear their journeys into and through motherhood and the lessons that they have learnt, the highs and the lows, among other things. As always, we encourage you at home to take part in this and any other conversation that we may have by engaging us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. We look forward to getting any feedback on this show and any other show, any comments that you may have, any questions that you may have, and any topic that you feel would be important to the Dadas of Kenya that we can discuss on this platform. Before we roll out to today's conversation, let's take a look at the following feature.
Alice Mundia, the chairperson of Differently Talented Society of Kenya, is a mother whose parenting journey goes beyond raising our own children.
I would say that motherhood is a journey, and motherhood begins when you give birth to your child. Of course, we know there will be other ways that you can become a mother, probably by adopting a child, getting married to a spouse who has children of their own, and you come in and take in the role of the mother. But in this particular instance, when you talk about giving birth to your child, you know, it begins with you planning to get your child, but at the same time, once you get your child, that is when now the actual motherhood journey begins.
Although there are many factors affecting self-motherhood, it is not an excuse for one to lower their guard in parenting.
When you talk about the pillars of motherhood, it depends on now what angle you're looking at it. If you're looking at it from the health angle, then that means we are talking about access to healthcare, access to good quality healthcare, access to good nutrition, just as I'd said earlier. But when we talk about the factors that actually affect motherhood, you know, there are many things that will determine the environment, the socio-economic status of the family, you know, also the age factor, you know, the age factor. What is your age at that point in time when you're giving birth, you know?
According to Alice, parenting in today's century is not an easy task.
When you get to the stage of motherhood in a process that is not planned, of course, there will be challenges that come with it in terms of your wellness, your psychosocial wellness, your readiness to take care of the child, you know, the resources that are required also to bring up the baby. So for young girls, I would say it becomes a very difficult experience. And one of the key things I would also urge families is once your daughter gets pregnant and once your daughter gives birth to a child, the whole family should come in and be able to support. Because remember, this child will need all of us, you know. This child will need the whole family to take care of him or to take care of her. So for young girls, I would say yes, it's very difficult, but then the family also has to step in and also support the young girl to be able to take care of her daughter or her son. Because I would say motherhood is not easy. It's definitely not easy. And especially when the baby is young, you know, yes.
While in most cases, a person enters motherhood when they become a mother, the journey is unique for every mom.
We definitely have different kind of mothers because one, you can become a mother by giving birth to your own child, and your journey of motherhood begins. But you can also become a mother by adopting a child. You can become a mother also by getting married to a spouse, as I had said earlier, who has children, you know. In the community, we also find that where one of your family members probably passes on, we find family members stepping in and playing the role of the mother, you know. So we find that there are different ways that you can become a mother, you know, and whatever way that you become a mother, whether it's by birth, whether it's by adoption, or whether it's by being a step mother to a child, always are very, very important, because the most important thing is that the child receives nurturing and the child gets well taken care of, and you embrace the child, you embrace the bond, because remember that being a mother is a big responsibility. It takes a lot of hearts, you know. You're going to be the nurse, you're going to be the educator of this child, you're going to be the therapist of this child, and especially I'll keep speaking about our children with disabilities and autistic children for that matter. You have to play that crucial role. So meaning that when you're taking into motherhood, you also have to take into consideration that you have all these roles.
In her final remarks, Alice feels the need for women to be appreciated and urges them to nurture their children in a good way. There is no role in life that is more essential than that of motherhood. And to all mothers and mothers in waiting, here on Dada's show, we celebrate you, appreciate you, and love you. For Dadas, my name is Miriam Masava.
Okay, welcome back. As I mentioned, I am joined by three exceptional women who wear many titles, and one of them is mom. And seeing that it's a Mother's Day special, we will get to interact with them and get to know what their journey has been like and what, motherhood means to them as we celebrate them. So starting us off, we have, right next to me, we have Naserian Pertet. Karibu sana Naserian, thank you so much for making time to sit and join me on the panel of the Dada's show. Right next to her, we have Madam Linda Maria. Thank you so much, Linda. I know you're so busy, so I really appreciate you taking time to join me today. And finally, I have Madam Mariam Ali Nduta. I know you're also a very, very busy lady, and so I really appreciate you taking time to sit with us. And happy Mother's Day to all you lovely mothers. And happy Mother's Day to the mothers in my audience. And of course, the mothers at home, the mothers in absentia, the dads acting like mothers, it's a whole spectrum that we need to celebrate today. Being a mother is such an honor. And of course, we celebrate you and we affirm you and we are here with you and we acknowledge you. So, of course, I want to welcome my wonderful audience, the gentlemen in my audience, Karibuni sana, to Dada's show. And so we will start off our conversation today. So, Naserian, tell us a little bit more about yourself and what motherhood means to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashiko, for the invite. I'm married, a mother of 3 children. My firstborn is 14, secondborn is 8, and the lastborn is 5. So I have 2 boys and a girl. And I can say for me, what motherhood means to me is it's an opportunity to be able to, first of all, bring life into this world. And then on top of that, to be able to nurture, to be able to care, to be able to be the greatest influence that a child has. Because, from the moment this child is born and it's given to you, you're the first contact with this child. Yes. And you're going to be this child's influence from when they're 0 days old to when they are old and gray. Yes. Because you don't stop being a mother even if your child is 90 and maybe you're still gone, yes. You're gone, you're still a mother. So I find it's an honor, it's a gift, and which I don't take for granted, because I know there are many who are there who would have loved to be mothers, But unfortunately, you know, for one thing or another, they just haven't been able to bring children into this world. So it's a blessing, it's a gift, and it's an honor to be called mother. And it's a wonderful journey. It's scary. It has its ups and downs, but I love it.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much. I'm sure the kids at home are watching you and going like, yeah, that's mom. That's mom. That's really, really well put. So thank you so much for that definition of what motherhood does mean to you. I'll move on to you, Linda. First of all, karibu sana. Thank you so much, Madam Boss Lady, for joining me. And, you know, we were talking about women who wear many hats.
Yeah.
From our interactions, you know, like I like calling you, which you do not liking to be called Miss Boss Lady. You know, you're a boss lady, your wife, you're a mother. Tell us a little bit more about you and how you manage to juggle all this responsibility.
So I am Linda Maria, and I'm an entrepreneur, Miss Boss Lady. So other than being an entrepreneur, I am a mom, and I have 2 kids of my own, 2 girls, a 21-year-old and a 10-year-old.
Yes.
Yeah. So other than those ones, I have many other lovely children who I take care of. Yes. Like these, in the society, in the African setting, you just find that you have, once you grow up, I thought I wouldn't be one of those people, but then I grew up and here I am having so many people around me, constantly have from 20-year-olds to the babies around me. Yeah. So I thoroughly enjoy being a mom. And it's hard to juggle between parenting and working. But then I just stay authentically me. So when I keep true to myself, the person that I am, the person that I have known and have become, it makes it easy. When I'm a parent, I'm a parent. When I am a boss, I'm a boss. When I'm a wife, I'm a wife. Yeah. So it makes it easier when you compartmentalize the different roles that you play in the society. And that's what helps me.
So you're saying it's actually possible to compartmentalize because well, women, we are always being accused of, you know, women can't compartmentalize, everything meshes into each other, and that's why, you know, ABCD. But clearly, as Madam Boss Lady Linda Maria has said, it's definitely possible. And I think we also practice it, you know. When I'm here, I'm Ashikombune, but when I go back home, I'm Mama Kiki, you know, so I'm doing dishes, I'm doing everything that, you know, it's entailed to be a mother. And I think that's what makes us very good at juggling, you know, because we have many roles, we wear many hats, and we embrace them all. And we do it with, of course, so much grace.
Yes.
At times. So I'm going to move the next question to Mariam. You know, Mariam, I love the fact even during our pre-interview, we did have an opportunity to discuss about what you have been through and the journey that you are, you know, till you get, you know, till you're here. And I think I have to acknowledge you, you know, most of all. I mean, I appreciate everyone because of the journey that you have taken thus far. We do have a tendency of celebrating what we think is picture perfect. And then we forget by virtue of you're here, you have your children. I like the way you call yourself, I'm a mother of many. So you two, you're making huge strides, especially in helping teenage mothers. And I understand that this is a story that is personal to you. So if it's okay with you, do you mind, you know, perhaps sharing a little bit of that with us today?
Okay, asante sana kwa mwaliko. I really appreciate the acknowledgement. I'm Mariam Ali. I'm a mother of 6. My firstborn is in campus, 22 years. My secondborn anafaa kwenda School of Medicine. Niko na wa Form 3, niko na wa Form 1. Niko na 5 years na niko na 2 years.
Uko na the full spectrum. Wote wako. Wote wako.
Yeah. Na niko na wengine wengi wale Mungu amenijalia nikawakumbatia. Even though si wangu lakini ni wangu. As much as vile Mungu amewaleta kwangu, najua amewaleta na chanzo. There must be a reason why wame come my way. Currently I'm a mother of 17.
Wow.
Teenage moms plus mine na hao wengine, so I'm a mother of 17. At my house na host 5 of them, wako na watoto wote. It's not easy, but hakuna kitu nanifurahisha kama kuamka asubuhi kupatana na hizo mahag za mom, hiyo kelele. Yeah. I really what will I say, like it's overwhelming.
Yes.
It's stressful. It's hectic. But let me say I move by faith. I move by faith. Mimi nilikuwa mama at a very young age. I was only 16 when I got my firstborn. Luckily my mom was still alive. Ilikuwa ile I knew mama yangu alikuwa ule si wa mwiko, ule ni wa kupiga mpaka na anything ile atapata mbele. So I knew I'm as good as dead. Nikatoroka nyumbani, but nani kama mama? Alikuja akanitafuta, akanirudisha nyumbani, akanirudisha shule. And luckily Mungu akampenda, akamchukua. Mimi nadhani kupenda watu na kupenda amani nilitoa kwa mamangu mzazi. My mom alikuwa mtu wa watu. Kwetu hatukuwa tunaishi peke yetu. My mom was full of love. Our house was ever full. Alikuwa anafanya, she was a doctor, lakini pia alikuwa anazalisha, alikuwa mkunga. Pale kwa estate, in case mtoto amekuja anakuembrace, mnaleta mgeni. So I don't think nimeanza saizi. That is where nilipata hiyo mapenzi.
Ilikuwa calling yako kutoka kitambo.
Yeah, I think hapo ndio nilipata hiyo mapenzi. But let's say my turn, where pali ilifika nikakuwa so much into the teenage girls. It's my third born daughter. Alikuwa na rafiki. She was only 13. So my daughter came and told me, Mama, do you know so and so is pregnant? Na baba yake alikuwa anaishi na baba yake. Baba yake amemfukuza. That was the first girl I hosted in my house. Ule mwenye alifanya mpaka nikashikwa. Nilikujua na mapolisi, nakaa na mtoto mdogo nini, but tukaisort out. She was only 13, she was pregnant, and she was pregnant for rafiki ya baba yake.
Oh dear.
So there's no way, alikuwa anashindwa kuambia baba yake nani baba ya huyu mtoto. Na at home they didn't have a mother figure. Hakukuwa na ule mtu mwenye anaweza kukimbia kwa mapaja yake amwambie it's like this, like this. That was the first girl I embraced in my home. Up to now, the mtoto wako 2 years. But aliniachia mtoto. Na akaenda, tukasumbuana, lakini tukafika kwa chief, nikaambiwa kana mtoto ile siku atakuwa tayari, bora uko na mabarua, we will cross that bridge tukifika hapo.
Because right now she would be, if the child is 2 years old, she's about 15 years old.
Yeah, bado ni mdogo. Bado ni mdogo. Bado ako na utoto mingi sana. So from there, nimekuwa tu na wasichana kwangu. In and out, in and out, in and out. Wale wamekuja kwangu, maybe hawako shule, na watuma kwa, there is a friend of mine akona project ya teenage moms, na watuma kwake, anawafundisha makeup, hair and beauty, hivyo. At least, akuwe na something that can, income generating activity, something yenye najua, if I do this, nitapata something to sustain me and my kid. I don't, sipendi kuwa encourage wa go out on their own, because ni wadogo kiakili. I have been there, especially after my mom passed, my sister alinishika mkono, na unaona pia ni mtu ako na familia yake. I have 2 sisters, walinishika mkono, wakanivuta, nikakuja nikapata mtoto mwingine, nikakuwa pia, au wakanipeleka beauty, nikasomea beauty, nika drop out when I was pregnant with my third born. Yani imekuwa tu like we are juggling na maisha. So nikapata msichana mwingine, nikamhost kwangu, akakuja pia na boyfriend yake, but I had to chase away the boyfriend. Yeah, because pia mimi niko na watoto wasichana. I just can't accommodate a random man in my house. Yes. And I'm mimi mwenyewe I'm not married because I'm afraid. Na hii society ya leo, I'm afraid for my kids. I'm afraid for, because huwezi sema, not when you have boys, ndio you are not supposed to be afraid. Even boys, they are going through things that you can't even talk in public. Unaona, so I decided mambo ya marriage, relationship, wacha ikae kando kwanza. Let me kwanza embrace this. In God's time, seta ako there ameolewa na 80, na 40. I will also get married kama iko kwa mpango ya Mungu.
Kama imepangiwa itafanyika.
I will get married, but
written,
for
happen.
now,
yes.
Let me embrace my girls.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, that looks, you know, and I feel like there's still so much that we can discuss and unpack, especially in relation to that. Lakini swali moja ni, unaona kama experience yako, unajua, ndo imekusaidia to be able kwa position ya kusaidia hao wasichana.
Exactly. One thing, I don't help because I help them because I know how it feels to lack.
Yes.
I know how it feels when you are alone, you don't have somebody you can talk to. Like last night, nilipata call around 2. There was a girl who was attempting, alikuwa anataka kujirusha, na ako na mtoto kijana wa 2 years. Na ako all the way in Githurai, and it is 2 at night. What could you do as a mother? Na si ati uko na gari ama uko na nini, lakini you have to wake up, uende uwatafute, uwatafutie safety, nini. Challenges saizi kwanza tunapata sana ni safe house. Kama huyo unapata saizi hawezi rudi kwa ile nyumba sababu mtoto wake amedhulumiwa na mwanaume mwenye anaishi na yeye. Na huyo msichana mwenyewe, there is nothing in this house, anaweza ita yake isipokuwa nguo. Nguo na huyu mtoto na afya yake. Hizo ndio vitu anaweza ita zake. The rest amekuwa hosted na huyo mwanaume. Naona, so lazima nimuoneshe pia mimi, I have been there. I know how it feels. And as a woman you have to be strong.
Yes.
Lazima ukaze kamba. Hakuna kulegeza kamba. As a woman, ukishakuwa mwana, ukishabale, ukue mama, hakuna kurudi nyuma.
Hakuna kurudi nyuma.
There is no turning back.
Thank you so much, Mariam. I mean, those are really wise words, and we'll dig a little bit deeper into that. So, Nasirian, you know, now when we're just talking about the influence that how we were raised has an impact on how we raise our children and what we have learned along the way. You know, growing up, we would often say, you know, when I get my kids, I'll never do this to them. I'll never do this to them. I remember I was dead set that I will never ever spank my child. I will never, ever. I'll do gentle parenting. Let's just say that's not how things stand out. So what are the biggest changes that you made, and what are some of the things that you embraced?
So for me, I grew up in a very strict home. My father was a disciplinarian. My mom was also into discipline, but she would beat if and when necessary. Yeah. So my father would beat you for anything and everything under the sun. You lose a pencil, you get beaten, you fail in class, and maybe not really failing, you maybe just dropped 1 mark, you get beaten. So that is one thing that I decided that I wouldn't do the same to my children. But of course the discipline part is what I have sustained, you know, because children need to be respectful, they need to be obedient, because you're the parent, and they're the child. Yes. And of course, you know, they have to listen to you because you're older than them. You're there to guide them, and you're there to take care of them and nurture them as they grow. Yeah. But the bit of, you know, disciplining at beating, not even discipline, beating at every turn and every
on
beat.
A whim, yeah.
That is what now I decided we are not going to do. In fact, me and my husband said, you know, there are some things you just talk to your child about. We discipline for disobedience. We discipline maybe for disrespect, but for mistakes, we don't, because these are children. They're growing up. You're a human being, you make mistake. Even as an adult, you make mistake. Yeah. So you don't beat somebody because they made a mistake. You correct the mistake, and you guide them so they don't make the mistake again. Okay. Yeah. Another thing that I also decided to do differently from my mom was a full-on career woman. She used to be a teacher, then after that she changed into banking, and I also went into different sectors within the economy. But for myself, I worked for a couple of years, but I decided that I think it's best for me to focus on my children. So I've been a stay-at-home mother for the past 11 years. I've been able to take care of my children, be present completely, meaning even in terms of a house help, I've only had one who comes once to twice a week just to make sure things are clean and do with the kids' clothes. But in terms of being at home, I have been at home with my kids for the past 11 years because that is something I felt was very important. My mom, because she was she was really focused on her career, which I applaud her for, and I thank her for that because I wouldn't be where I am today if it was not for her. But I realized there's something that was missing, and it is that connection between the parent and the child that I really felt I missed out on. So I chose, because I wanted something different for my children. I wanted to be a friend to my children. I didn't want to have situations where I can't talk to my mom if I have an issue. And because of the type of father that I had, there was no way I would have been free with my father. But you see, if you can't be free with your father, you need to at least be free with one of the other parent. But that was not the case. So I realized that I needed to change that. I needed to be there for my children. I want my children to, if they're having an issue in school, they should be able to come home and say, Mom, this and this is happening in my life. And now, since they're all in different stages of their lives, I have a teenager, I have a girl who's preteen, she's just discovering who she is, and then I have the very small one who's extremely energetic and he's just loving his life.
That's a full-time job, by the way,
It is.
I mean, sorry to cut you short. I mean, for me, that's a full-time job, and I always find it almost comical when people sit and say, so what do you do all day? And there've been videos and there've been all these things that have been, have been retorted over and over to show, because I'm trying to look at a situation like Naserian's home, there's a teenager, there's a preteen, and then there's a small child. That's a full-time job. That's a very, very, very happening household. So I believe even for the mothers who are at home, and I've always said this time and time again, we should not, do not be comfortable with being defined by one thing or another. Be who you are. Even as a mother, even staying at home, that's a job. That is, by the way, you are the backbone. You are the one who's ensuring that when everybody comes home, they find a loving environment. So don't cut yourself don't sell yourself short and say, what, I'm just a mother. No. I believe that's one of the most important roles that anybody can have. So I'm going to move on to you, Linda. What's the best memory that you have when we're talking about being raised and we're talking about our mothers and the impact that they have had in our lives? What is the best memory that you have of your mother or someone who you really admired while you were growing up?
Which would be my mother?
Yes.
That is a very, very, very broad question.
Yes.
I will explain. For me, I was lucky enough to spend my first 40 years basically with my mom. One is because she was gracious enough to allow me to start my business in her house. And that meant she was in the house as well. And so I would see her every day.
Yes.
And even when I went to try out a relationship which didn't work, I came back and we were staying in the same house. Like, she was always there through everything.
Yes.
So it is almost impossible to pick one memory because my mom became my best friend. Even when I moved out, now finally I was like, you know what, Mom, I've gone. But I moved just next door. It wasn't far from her. Even when I moved out, I'd leave her, okay, bye, Mom, and then I go to my house and then I call her. Do you know? So we'd talk basically. We were together from morning. My mom is late, so that's in past tense now. I'm learning to talk about her in past tense. So we were together the whole day. And when I go home, after I do my house things, those things mothers do when you get home, you check, make sure the house won't explode. Then now I call her and then we continue talking until I'm like, okay, now I'm sleepy. And then
we'll talk tomorrow.
We'll talk tomorrow. And it's first thing in the morning. So I was very, very lucky to have her. So I do not have one memory. I was lucky to be with her all through. In fact, when she retired, from whatever it is she did in life. When she retired, she learned a new profession and came and joined me in the business. Oh, wow. And she learned it so well that I could actually send her for things she had never. I deal in hair. My mom could not even do a matuta. So for her to move from whatever she did all her life and to learn not to do it, but how to run the business, she, like, that was just totally amazing. The one thing that may have broken this bond was when my mom fell sick. Then I realized it's not healthy the way I am with her from morning to evening, because she was in ICU for, I think it was 11 days at that point. That was the first time I'd ever not been able to call her, hey, nifanye, to do, like, that was the first time. So she was in ICU and I could not ask her what I was supposed to do. Then I realized I'm not in a very healthy situation.
There was a codependency.
It was bad. So then that's when I started.
But the weird thing about the codependency is it's how it's supposed to be. I mean, that's not your mom.
I beg to differ. Why? Because if she did not come out of that ICU, she came out that time.
Yes.
But if she did not come out of that ICU, I had no friends, really. Like, I had friends, but there was no one to really fall back on. There was no one to talk to. Like, she was it.
Yeah.
So when I saw her there curled up in fetal position, being so sick, I was like, now I need to go out actively and make friends in the society, like people I can fall back on, listen to other people and learn their stories and be part of their lives. Because I did not need that before. I did not need to know anyone else because my mom was there. But when I went through that experience in 2018, I pulled back. So by the time she was passing away in 2021, and I thank God, because I told God, I'm not ready, Aki, nisaidie tu asiende sahi. So he gave me 3 years. Oh, wow. In the 3 years, I learned not to live without her. I was still with her daily. But I also learned that I have to also claim my life other than being her child or being her friend. So I have to also grow and have my own life other than being with her.
Oh, wow. Wow, Linda, that's really, well, that's moving stuff. But and I applaud you for your strength to actually talk about it, because when it comes to a loss of a loved one, there are people who will take decades even before they can be able to talk about it. Nonetheless, talking about it, you know, in front of camera. So I definitely applaud you for that. And I'm sure wherever and she's watching you right now, she's like, look at that girl, I did well, you know, I did fantastic. So before we go on a short break, Mariam, I want you to answer something to me. Through all the ups and downs, you know, some of them that you have touched on, and what you have experienced and what you interact with, where do you feel like either society failed you or government failed you or your family failed you or is failing these girls? Because when we are talking about a 13-year-old getting pregnant, you know, by her father's friend, there is a discord somewhere in society. So who is dropping the ball, in your opinion?
I think all of us. This is not a blame game. It's sisi wote. Solidarity. Solidarity is everything. Then, I think as a parent, your kid should be your best friend. Like mimi mtoto wangu saizi anaweza nipigia niambie, "Mom, mimi uchali yangu ni Bambi. Amedu hivi na hivi na hivi." Nimwambie, "No, this is what you will do." Unaona? Lakini the minute umeka mtoto wako like she's in a cage, haezi kuambia how her day was, how do you expect atakuja kukuambia she's in a relationship? How do you expect atakuja kukuambia kuna kijana amemfinyia macho huko nje? Unaona? Kwa sababu tumeka zile mikakati za kitambo. Mamangu ni mkali, mamangu atanipiga, babangu ni pasta, mama yangu ni polisi. Unaona? Kama recently tulikuwa na kesi ya mtoto mama yake ni AP. Imagine mtoto She has been going outside. Kuna hizi Eastlands tunazita disco matanga. Kuna matanga mahali, wameweka disco, hivyo. So the mom akiwa night shift, a 15-year-old girl, atafanya nini kwa nyumba na kuna house help, hakuna nini?
Anaenda disco matanga.
Thank you. Disco matanga, ukishatoka disco matanga, kwanza mtoto mdogo anaenda matanga kufanya nini? Si ati anaenda kuchanga, hana pesa. Amekuja hapo for entertainment. Entertainment gani? Kudance. Alafu Eastlands tuko na hiyo tabia ya ni matanga. By the way, I really hate that. Mtoto mdogo kukuja kwa matanga, no. For what? Ati wamepanga line, they are dancing, unapata mwanaume mtu mzima ananunua mtoto na 50 bob wa dance na yeye. And it is something that is going on in our society. Especially Eastlands. Hizi mageto zetu ziko na mambo mingi sana. Naona, upate mzazi mwingine amejiekelea pombe. Mimi kwanza hakuna kitu nachukia, like siku hizi wanajiita wazazi keki. Unapata somebody my age, ako na mtoto, lakini ni kama hana mtoto. Anataka awachie mama yake huyo mtoto, atafute starehe yenye hata I make sense. Aende Friday, arudi Sunday. Na ni mtu mwenye ako na mtoto. Huyo mtoto ata grow up na picha gani? Ata grow up akijua the grandma amesha play part yake. It's for you to step up and play your part. So that's why nasema hapa hakuna mtu unaweza blame.
It starts with us.
It starts with us. Sisi wenyewe.
Before we start saying, oh,
serikali saidia.
Oh, nani, oh, villager, oh, nani, pastor.
Mimi kwanza I think serikali mali penye iliniangusha na nilisikia vibaya sana. Okay, kuna watoto tunalipianga school fees. Wanasoma government school, lakini utasikia mtoto amefukuzwa, sijui nini, unafaa alipiwe. Hii kuona mtoto kwa mtaa haifurahishi. So there is a friend of mine, anaitwa, we call her Mami Mentor, but anaitwa Olive Morioki. Olive, tukakaa chini na yeye. We came up, amenisaidia, amenishika mkono mahali pakubwa sana. Huyo, she's more than a role model to me. Tukakaa chini na yeye tukaongea, nikamwambia so hapa kuna mama, a single mother of 8, ako mentally disturbed. Mimi sioni kama mama ako sawa. Ako mentally disturbed. Ako na watoto 8 na hakuna mmoja ako chini ya juu ya 15 years. Wote wako
chini.
Alafu kwa hao watoto 8, 2 ndio wanasoma. Au wengine unapata mtoto wa 8 years anatumwa kutoka kwa kijiji aende Kikomba akanunue mboga alete. Huo mtoto atapitia wapi? And the kijiji I'm talking about is something like Kinyago, to be specific. Inaitwa Kinyago. This Kinyago, it is somewhere around Isili. Iko na another village kanaitwa Kitui village. Kitui village iko na hawa wanajita majanki wa kujidunga shindano nini, utapata huko wengi sana. Mtoto wa 7-8 years ndio atapita katikati ya hawa majanki aingie Kikomba, arudi kwao alete mboga. To me it does not make sense.
It doesn't make sense.
Kwa hivyo sisi wote we are failing as a society, as mothers, as the government. Hapa hakuna blame game. Ni sisi wote we have to pull up our socks.
Wow.
For our future. It's not even our future, for our kids' future. It's not for our benefit. It's for those kids.
It's for the generations to come. Wow, Mariam, I think that's a really good place for us to stop. And I love how you put it, because people do have a tendency of liking to cast blame. And you say, you know what, I did my part, so what about you doing? And I always talk about this, it's called a not my child syndrome, where you will see a child, you know, going wayward or whatever, but you'll say, that's not my child. Me, my child is nice and cozy at home. So the call to action this Mother's Day is to, you know, look inwards and reflect in a moment of introspection and ask yourself, what am I doing to help my children become the kind of members of society that we want? Before I start calling out the teachers and I start calling out the caregivers and I start calling out the government and I start calling out, you know, maybe the absentee parents. What am I doing? What is my role in ensuring that this child grows up to be the person I want them to be? So we are going to take a very small break and then we'll come back to my favorite part of the show, which is the question and answer session. I hope you're enjoying your Mother's Day wherever you may be. We're having a very, very insightful conversation as to what being a mother is like and what we need to do better. And of course, as we celebrate each other. Don't go far away. Welcome back to the question and answer session. Now, since it's Mother's Day, we're not going to take any questions or answers, but we will give our audience and our panel an opportunity to, give us a parting shot, especially on the lessons that they have learned along their way in the journey of motherhood. And we'll give an audience an opportunity to wish their mothers or the people who have stood in that space. Like we mentioned, mothers come in different shapes, size, forms, even genders sometimes, depending on the person who has played that role, that very crucial role in your life. It could be a grandmother, it could be an auntie, it could even be a dad, you know. So we will give them an opportunity to wish them. But now, before we jump into that, I would like to give my panelists an opportunity to give us a parting shot. I'll start off with you, Mariam. Mariam, karibu sana.
Asante. First, I wanted to emphasize something on the government concerning the rate of teenage moms that we have in Kenya. It's so alarming. Teenage moms tuko na teenage moms from as young as 14, 13 years kupanda. So they are so, I think the government inafaa iwapatie opportunity, kwa sababu ni ngumu kuambia mtu aache mtoto wake arudi shule. I think government inafaa kuwa na institutions mahali tunaweza wapeleka wajifundishe something that will help them in the future. Kwa sababu saizi ukipata hata wale niko nao kwa nyumba, siwezi wapeleka mahali wajifundishe cause inataka pesa, lakini tungekuwa na ya serikali hatungekuwa na hiyo mvutano. Juu saizi tuko na hiyo mvutano ya mtoto ndio anataka kurudi, secondary pia tunalipishwa, lazima anataka kusoma, mwingine anataka kwenda college ili atafanya part time, harudi angalie mtoto wake. Kwa sababu I can't host them forever.
Of course.
I can't host them forever. It reaches a time na hata nikiona ame grow ama ame learn something, I want to let them free wa experience the world in a good way. Na uwezi toa mtu kwako kama
hajakomaa kiakili.
Yeah, exactly. Lakini serikali ingekuwa imetuwekea mikakati. Hata kuna wengine wa streets, mtu ni umemtoa from the street, akona mtoto, hataki kurudi kwa street, lakini I can't stay with her forever. Kwa sababu I also have a life of my own. I also have kids of my own. Na pia yeye akona life yake. Na unajua kwangu utakaa na rules zangu. Utakuja kwangu na rules zako. Kuna saa ya kusoma, kuna saa ya kuangalia watoto, kuna saa ya lazima tuweke mikakati kila kitu. It reaches age, mtu amefika 20, unataka umwachilie aende, at least pia mwingine apate opportunity ya experience what somebody else in need. There are a lot of people outside here, they just need a hug. Just let me tell you one thing. Kuna mama, my immediate neighbor, she came to me. Nikamwambia, Mama Dylan, what's wrong? Ati niko sawa. Ai Mama Dylan, hapana. Ni nini mbaya? Tukacheka, lakini sasa nikamwambia hapana. Now niambie ni nini mbaya? I'm here. She didn't talk. Alini hug tu. I think alilia for like 20 minutes. Unaona? Ukiangalia huyu mama ni mtu akona familia yake, amejijenga, she's married, bwana yake anafanya kazi, lakini ukuje usikie story behind ile kitu ana go through. Na akona watoto wa dada yake, mtoto wa dada yake dada yake alipass, ameachiwa mtoto, the child is pregnant, mama mwenyewe hana kazi, hana mali anaweza peleka huyu mtoto, bwana amemwambia chague between huyo mtoto na yeye. Yeye mwenyewe ni kama sisi wale hatuna ushago. Lazima ukwenda.
So huko ndo kwake. You know, so Mariam, if I'm getting you right, and I think it's also a point of concern, and maybe we might have discussions after this about how we will be able to intervene, because there's always preventive. But now we're not talking about preventive. Everybody likes talking about preventive measures. The preventive measures have been taken, I believe. The children are being talked to about sexual reproduction and all of that. But now here is where they are. So I think we do want to hear from you at home. You know, if you've heard about the plight that is happening, especially in the informal settlements in regards to teenage pregnancies, and how rampant they have become to a point that they are actually worrying, you know, even our panelists, even the discussions that we're having. So please feel free to reach out to us on all our social media platforms at KBC Channel 1. If you're in a position to be able to intervene in any way, you know, be it preventive, be it being able to assist people who are taking up a role that is primarily not theirs. So please feel free to reach out to them. Allow me, Mariam, to move on to Linda, who will give us our parting shot for the day, please.
When you're a mom and an entrepreneur, do not forget about yourself. The number one thing about this life is enjoyment. Live your life. Yes. So you might be a parent, but don't let that parenting take over the person that you are. You may be a business person, but don't let that business take over the person that you are. Always make time for yourself. Always have a support system, people who support you. Because sometimes when you're dealing with so much, you may not be in a position to get yourself out of everything that you're dealing with. True. If you have a support system around you, then it's easy for them, it's easy for you to deal with whatever you're dealing with because there's someone else holding you up. There's someone else who's come to take care maybe of the kids. Akainao kidogo, you just take a nap because sometimes as a woman you just need sleep. Yeah, but when you're doing all these things, the world does not allow. In fact, I think we were raised to think people who take naps are lazy.
Are lazy, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when you're taking a nap, you're guilty. No, just take a nap. You need that time to recharge so that you're able to take care of all the other things that you're supposed to. So that is one thing I would say.
Thank you so much. And I think that's very crucial even for we tend to neglect ourselves. We have been brought up in a generation where struggling means that, you know, struggling has been, what's the word, has been beautified, for lack of a better word. So it's been beautified. So if you're struggling in love, then that's real love. If you're struggling in motherhood, then that's real motherhood. If you're struggling in business, then that's real business. Come on. You know, I think life is for the living at the end of the day. And as a mother, you need to be able to carve out time for yourself. Whether you have 5 children, whether you have 6 children, whether you have 1. And it is okay to ask for help. It is okay to say, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I have a teenager. He's driving me up the wall. I'm feeling overwhelmed. Linda, can we talk? Naserian, can we talk? So I think I completely agree with you in terms of carving out time for yourself. Naserian, your parting shot?
I think it's just to add on to what we've all said. Find something that you like doing and do it and enjoy. Like for me, I discovered I have a passion in baking. I love baking and I love doing cakes. In fact, that's the business I'm into. I'd started it before. When I got my firstborn, I pushed it aside to be able to take care of the others. But now that the last one is in school, I've gone to dust the pans again and dust the mixer and try and rediscover everything all over again. But find something that you like doing that is different from being a wife, being a mother, being a sister, being an auntie, something that is just for you, that gives you joy, and enjoy it. Because you'll be a mother until the day you sleep and go to the grave. But find something that you like doing because it gives you the energy to keep going, to keep being a mother, to keep being an auntie and being a wife. It beautifies your life, basically, yeah.
Thank you so much. Wise words by Naserian. So we've come to the end of today's very interactive and informative episode. Our moms, my take on all this is our moms, yes, are superheroes and our biggest supporters, but we usually don't tell them enough how much they appreciate. So today, we are not going to take any questions or comments. What we will do is we will give the audience an opportunity to appreciate and to acknowledge their moms. And then after that, we will sign off and we will let you go and enjoy your Mother's Day. So to start us off, Karibu sana, my dear.
Thank you so much for this opportunity. I would like to wish my mom a happy Mother's Day. Mama Shiko, all the way from Kikuyu. And I'll also celebrate myself. I'm a mother of 2. And I'm also a special mom to an autistic kid. And I'm celebrating all mothers to special kids. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ashiko, for giving me this opportunity to wish my lovely mom a very happy Mother's Day, all the way from Thika, Mwanawikeo. God bless you, and may God add you more years. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Jacinta. I would like to wish my mother, Aris Nyambura, akiwa Udhaya, and my lovely sister, happy Mother's Day to you.
Hi, for me, I want to wish all women, all mothers with differently able kids a happy Mother's Day. And this is always my wish. I would like to send them a message. I would like to tell them this, and this is always my dream, that someday all parents who have children with disabilities see their child as a blessing, not as a burden. Thank you, and happy Mother's Day to all women in Kenya.
My name is Lynn Nyambura, and I want to wish a happy Mother's Day to my mom and to my sister. My mom, Jane Wangare from Namanga, and my sister, Fidelia Modoni in Riruta. I love you guys, and you guys inspire me a lot.
Hi, my name is Kibet. I would like to wish my mom and my grandmother a happy Mother's Day, and thank you for taking care of me.
I'm Anthony Mwangi from Kiambu, and I would like to wish my mom happy Mother's Day, and to all women who are mothers, I'd like to wish you all a happy Mother's Day.
Hi, Dada Show. We are the Okaris family. Wishing you a happy Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mommy.
Happy Mother's Day to all the beautiful women in this world. And I'd like to wish my two lovely mummies, my mother-in-law, Wakaro, happy Mother's Day, Mommy, and to my mommy, Mama Twins, happy Mother's Day. I love you, and I pray to God to give us many, many, many years together of God's blessings and of good health. I love you. Mwah.
My name is Doris Nkatha Gitonga. I'm the producer for Dada's show, and I want to wish my mom, Lucy Gitonga, a very happy Mother's Day. You're the glue that holds our family together, and thank you for loving us and bringing us up into good parents as well. And I want to wish all the mothers in Kenya a very happy Mother's Day. May this day bring you closer to your loved ones. Happy Mother's Day.
So on behalf of myself, I would want to wish every single mother and a would-be mother, mothers in absentia, and anybody who is playing that role a happy, 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 hearty Mother's Day. We love you. We acknowledge you. We appreciate you. We pray for you. We really do pray for you. And we wish for nothing but the best for you. So on behalf of my production team here at KBC and my partners, Ma Hotel and Suites, and myself, Ashiko Mbune, I wish you all a lovely Mother's Day. Take care of your people, love your people, and we will catch you same time, same place next week. Until then, bye-bye.